Hello, friends. Welcome. This is Patty Bennett. This is a part of our weekly live paper crafting card making series. So if you have found me live, you will be on Facebook. If you are watching later after 10 a.m. Pacific time on February 7th, then you're watching a replay. So welcome back if you are joining from having seen me before. But if you are new, please say so that I can give you a really quick welcome. If you're watching at that replay that I mentioned, please skip ahead just for a couple moments because we are going to just welcome everyone who's joining live, and then I will get started. But just to give you a little preview, today's cards are super cute. Look how fun this is. This is with the beautiful butterflies bundle from Stampin' Up and the Full of Life designer paper. So we are going to be looking at some tips for making this cute note card size card in this beautiful, isn't this rainbow just so, oh, yummy, 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 right? So pretty. We are going to use a rainbow of colors from the Full of Life paper. Hey, good morning, Tammy. Hi, Denise. Welcome. So glad that you are here. We're going to give everybody just about 60 more seconds to be at the top of the hour, and then I will get started officially. Hi, Renee. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Donna. Welcome. Hi, Tracy. So good to see you. Hi, Debbie. Good morning. Debbie says, good morning, teacher. That's so cute. I love it. I love it. Hi, Sonia. I hope that everybody is having a fabulous day. Hi, Faith. Welcome. I will remind you that tomorrow on pattystamps.com, you're going to find the photos of all of these cards. And if you're looking for the supplies, you can find them already on my blog today. So if you can't wait and you want to order the supplies I'm using, you will be able to see those. You'll want to look for this at the bottom of my blog post. So this is what I share every time I post, and it shows you the supplies that I used. We're using the beautiful butterfly bundle today. We're actually not using the stamp set, so I have a little tip for you I'm going to share. We have the Full of Life paper and the white note cards, and then the Greetings for All ephemera pack. Those are your main supplies today that you'll be using if you want to recreate these. So let me just go ahead and say welcome, everyone. I think we're pretty much at the top of the hour. We will get going today. This is Patty Bennett, and today we are going to look at these totally adorable note cards that feature the Stampin' Up! Beautiful Butterfly Bundle and Full of Life paper. As I just mentioned, I didn't actually use the stamp set today. So what we have really just used is the hybrid bundle, which is the die and the embossing folder. But this is something that Stampin' Up! Just released this week. If you want that stamp set as a free gift, when you purchase other supplies, you could select the stamp set and just purchase like the paper and the embossing folder, hybrid embossing folder bundle, and the ephemera. I didn't add it up for sure, but I think that's pretty close. I think you would earn the stamp set for free. So just a little tip there. Hi, Becky. Hey, Shan. Hi, Deborah, Kelly. Hi, Colleen. Oh, snow in Idaho. Hi, Lori. Hey, Jackie, Marilyn, Janet, Robin, Nell, Tandra, Diana. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It's funny because I don't know why my tablet says 6 people are watching, but obviously that's more than 6 people. So I don't know. You know, Facebook is Facebooking, apparently. So let's get going, and I'll show you how I made these. Now, if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you probably already know the details on this because Elizabeth Belleville at Stampin' Up! Shared how to make these on the Demonstrator Planning Place. And that is a private Facebook group for demonstrators. But I made a couple of changes because that's what stampers do, right? We see an idea, we morph it a little bit. So I'm going to give you the tips that she shared, but then share my extra ideas for creating these note cards. You can see that I have a variety of colors going on. And normally when you think of the full of life designer paper, you probably think of this side, right? This is what most people think about and use for creating with the full of life paper. I have used the back sides. Well, I call them the back sides because that's how it's packaged. But that is what I have used to do the background, so the bigger butterfly, and the detailed die cut. So let me just show you a couple of these. The detailed die cuts are also with the full of life paper. So what we're going to do is get out a note card, and we're going to trim a piece of full of life paper to 3.5 by 5, because the note cards that Stampin' Up! Sells come in a pack with your note card and your envelope. They're already cut and scored, which is lovely. So these are a 3.5 by 5 note card. So it would be 5 by 7 if you wanted to cut and score your own. And that is what we are going to use. So you can see here, it's that size. Okay, so they end up to be that size. And Stampin' Up! Actually made this die that we're going to use to perfectly fit the note card. So let me show you tips on doing that. And then the die set comes with extra butterflies. We will use this one. I should just pop it out and have it handy. So it has extra dies. And then last week, do you remember we used the hybrid embossing folder and we did the butterfly pop-up cards using the entire bundle, so the stamps, dies, and embossing folder. We did those last week. We're not using the embossing folder, just the dies. And so what I did to get started was picked some patterns that I wanted to use. And I think for, let's see, let's do these two for right now, because I'm going to cut 2 at once. And I am going to cut them to 3.5 by 5 because that is the size of the note card. I'm going to cover the note card front. So 3.5, as usual, don't throw this away because, let's see, I think I'll do this. 3.5 by 5. And don't throw this away either, because we're going to use that. Then whatever adhesive you would like to use is totally fine. If I were making a bunch of these ahead of time and I had time, what I would do is use the liquid glue to cover the front and put my designer paper on and let it thoroughly dry before I do die cutting. But because I'm going to die cut this right away, I am just going to grab my Stampin' Seal and use this as just sort of an all-over adhesive. You could also use our adhesive sheets or the Seal Plus. Doesn't matter, just as long as you kind of get that front covered with adhesive. Now, did I say why I don't even know. I like you losing my brain cells today. Did I say why I would want to do this ahead of time? I don't even think I explained. Is because I don't want to use a die on wet glue. So if I were to do this right now, cover that and put my paper on and then just turn around and die cut this, I would be cutting through wet glue and I don't want to do that. So that's why I used the dry, well, I guess I'll call it a dry adhesive, the tape runner, the Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to see if there was any questions so far. Oh, thank you. Annette says all of this beautiful butterfly all of the supplies are on low inventory. Thank you for letting us know. Oh my goodness. Yes, the B side or the back side. Exactly. All right. So, I know what I was going to say is that I did post these on Monday, and these use the stamps, dies, and embossing folder. So if you missed that, featuring the Bloom Impressions paper, you can go to pattystamps.com and scroll back to Monday, February 3rd, and you'll find these and some tips on making those. I love these. I was saving those just to show you right now, and then they're going right out to customers. So what you do to die cut, I'll just use my scissors to point. Can you see this little line on the die? There's a little line here and a little line here. That is what you use to line up with the fold in your paper. And it doesn't matter what size card you're using, you line up that little line with the fold on the paper. So let me set this down. I'm going to line that back up. And I'm centering left to right, just eyeballing that. Like, I'm not going to measure it. Okay, I think I've got that pretty good. And then I am going to use little Post-it flags. You can use Post-it notes. You can use Post-it tape. You can use washi tape, whatever you want. Just going to look again to make sure, right? So I've got that little line lined up with the fold, and I'm going to turn around and die cut this. So just hang with me for a second or two. Okay, or 4 or 5, I don't know. Just give me a minute here. Okay, so now I have put that through my die cutting machine, and I'll show you what you need to do next. So you can see here that this is all just coming out, but these two little flappies are there. They're supposed to be there. Don't worry. You just take your paper snips and snip up to that line, and those pieces will just fall right off. Okay. And look at this fun. Oh, let me just clean that up. I just want to make sure that I don't have like this tiny little extra right there, because that doesn't look great. There we go. Okay, now you have this adorable top flap note card that is still the size of the note card, but you have this really cute patterned butterfly that's on the front. Isn't that super easy? So when you know that little trick, then it just becomes really easy to create. So we also need, as you can see, in addition to that butterfly, I have the detailed butterfly, and I kind of liked it in a little bit of a contrasting color on top. So you could pick anything that you think is a nice either contrast, or I think there was one here. Yes, I did an Easter version where I just used the same paper. So that one's a little softer looking than something like this where you get a larger contrast. So totally up to you what you would like to do for your either contrasting or coordinating layers. So what I am going to do is to take my liquid glue and put it on the body. And then there's a couple spots here. You could either kind of roll up some glue dots, or you can just use a little bit of glue on these spots that are a little bit bigger. But I'm not doing the whole thing because I want this to flap up just a little bit. Okay, then my little secret weapon, I've shown you this before, but I like to take my silicone mat and put it on top and take a clear block and just set it there for a minute to let that dry and to put a little pressure on it to keep it in place. So that's just kind of step one, was to do your background paper onto your note card. Okay, like that. Die cut it with this, and then figure out a contrasting or monochromatic detailed butterfly. And I guess sorry, I didn't actually show you. I just cut randomly out of the B sides again of this full of life paper. Sorry, I sort of skipped over that because I already had them die cut, but that is what I did to get all the different colors on here. Okay, so that should be set in place. And then, if you've noticed on my finished cards, they have a body. And I saw Elizabeth do this, like I said, on the demonstrator planning place, and I thought it was genius, but I made a little tweak. So I want to show you what that tweak was. Where is your silicone brush for glue? Oh, Debbie, I could have done that, but the reason I didn't, like I mentioned, I wanted parts of the butterfly to be able to kind of stick up. So I didn't want to add glue all over it. I could have stippled a little glue down here. I certainly could have, Debbie, but I wanted it a little looser. I like how they kind of fluff up at the top, and so I didn't want to put a ton of glue. But that's a good point. That would have been a great thing to use as well. Okay, so for the body, what Elizabeth did and what I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you my little tweak. Remember this little scrap that we cut off? You're going to have one for every card front that you do. I am going to put it right behind the body. So you can see there, it's covering the antenna and the whole body. And then I'll take my little Post-it flag and hold that in place. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to cut this. It's going to look funny. We're going to do a little surgery. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like. It almost looks like a bat. It looks really funny. And make sure you take this out, because otherwise it will impede cutting the next one. So then I took my snips, and I think Elizabeth did the same thing. Just cut straight up. Okay, so that you have a body. But I wasn't totally thrilled with the way that looked. I thought there was there's something missing. There's something wrong. And so what I did was I snipped in at an angle and then rounded that head. So I did that on both sides, and I just freehanded this. There's no magical thing. I guess you could draw on there. But I liked that better, to have it actually have kind of a round head and then go to the body shape. So that's what I did, my little extra surgery there, butterfly surgery. Oh, and then what we're going to do, so we're going to put this on here, but I didn't want it to have two sets of the antenna. And so I just snipped these two off. I know, this is total butterfly surgery, right? And then I put this body on top. And isn't that pretty? I just love how these all kind of come out differently. And it's just, I don't know, it's just fun to play with all the different colors. So then on these cards, you can see that they have greetings, and I used my pack of Greetings for All ephemera, and it's nice because it's just kind of understated and plain, but I really like how they all, I don't know, I just like them. I think that they're just the perfect little greeting. Now let's look at this, and I'll recreate one of these for you. So do you see how some of them are outlined, like happy birthday, thank you, but I colored it. So I want to show you how I did that, and we'll just do the thank you because it's a really good size for these cards. So you want to look at your butterfly and think, now what colors would I want to use on there? And I'm kind of thinking, I'm almost thinking of peach pie, because the peach and the blue are going to look so nice together. They already do. We could do it in blue. What did I do on this other one? Oh, I did the petunia pop. Let's do the peach. So I'm going to start with dark peach pie. And you know what? Let me zoom. I think I can zoom. And I'll move this over for you. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way. And I'm going to color at the bottom half of each of these with the finer tip, the bullet point. It's not really a fine tip, but the bullet point. And I don't know about you, but if you're a child of the 60s and 70s, you may have done some artwork. Oh my gosh, I wish I knew the name of the artist. There was a calendar and kind of like an adult coloring book sort of a thing, and it had all this outlined stuff, all these images, and you would color them in with, I don't know what markers I had back then, some kind of markers. And that's what this reminds me of. I don't know why. Why did I tell you that? I don't know. It just came to mind. So these two colors are super close. You may not be able to see kind of that gradient there. That's because they're so close in color. So I think I'm just going to see if I took, I'm going to do it over here and test it. Let me see if I add some pumpkin pie down here. Yeah, that'll darken it a little. Because remember when we color with our Stampin' Blends, I always tell you, you can go outside of the color pairing and you can add other colors. So that gave us a little bit more of a gradient with the color by adding the pumpkin pie. Okay, so let's zoom back out. Oops, sorry. I really shook that. Sorry. And then these are all just pre-die cut. They're wonderful. You don't have to fuss with them or die cut them or fussy cut them or anything. And let's see how that looks. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So then let's see. Oh, I have a scrap. Look at that. That's just about, well, it's not quite long enough. Let me see if this piece is longer. Nope, let's cut a new one. Pardon me, sorry. All right, so I am going to cut a strip of my foam adhesive sheet for the back. Pop that up. And I think I kind of like it sort of just below the center like that. So that's where I'm going to put it. And there you go. It's so simple. Aren't these easy? My goodness, they are so fun. And then you can use, remember I said don't throw this piece away? You can use this piece to add to your envelope flap. And I always have people ask, I did show this a few weeks ago on one of my videos, but I'll go over it really quickly again. I take the envelope and add liquid glue. I take my designer paper and I fold the envelope up like this so that I can set the designer paper down, and I'm pushing into that crease. And then I'm going to fold this over and give it a little encouragement there. And then with my snips, I am just going to cut around. So now we have basically used up that entire 6x6 piece. 3.5 by 5 went on the front, right? So 3.5 by 5 went on the front. The leftover strip went on the envelope flap, and then the smaller strip, and I know I mixed and matched, but the smaller piece became the body. So we did not waste a single thing in making this card. We used everything up. And look at that. You have just such a lovely card and envelope to send. And wouldn't this be a nice set of cards to send at Mother's Day, or maybe make them for like a bridal shower, give to the bride to have some thank you cards. I don't know. I think this is just so quick and easy and so fun. And if you're like me and you just love color and bright colors, this I think you will just love. Oh, I did want to show you. So there are two sizes of butterfly body dies. So they're right here. Neither one is big enough, in my opinion, to be on this larger card. You could do this one, but I think it's a little small. So you can see here I have some of those extra bodies that I've already cut so that I'm ready to do some more on my other cards. But I did want to show you that there are butterfly body dies, but I elected to do what Elizabeth did and make the body a little bit bigger. Let me check if there were questions. Lisa Frank or Peter Max? Peter Max, Kathy, boy, that rings a bell. I'm going to have to Google that. Oh, Shan said she missed something. Are these 3x4 note cards? No, the Stampin' Up! Note cards are 3.5 by 5. They're pre-cut, pre-scored, and they come with the envelopes. They're 3.5 by 5. And I think they're on low inventory as well. Yeah, Lisa Frank that's not ringing a bell. And I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. Oh, so Susan said, do you write on the inside or the back? So I would do probably both. So I would kind of eyeball, like where is it going to cover up? And I would just be like, hi, Susan, thanks for your order. And then I could turn it over and I could write more of a note. Or if you just, you don't have to sign it in here. You could even sign here. Oops, sorry. You could sign up here or here. It's totally up to you. But you can write in the center and then you can flip it over and write more if you wish. Yes, Marcella, isn't it cool how they made this die to say, to flap up? I just think it's genius. Oh, I wanted to show you one thing. I thought I would be able to cover the front and keep the note card closed so that I could have just a butterfly shape, but it did not cut all the way through. So that was kind of a failure. And I did want to show you that. I was like, bummer. So I think 2 layers of the thick note card plus the DSP and the adhesive, it was just too much for the die to go through. So that didn't work for me. I just wanted to show you that. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Nell. I'm glad you liked the tip on the butterfly head. I'm glad you liked that. Yes, a great gift set, Lori. Thank you. You're welcome, Susan. Yep, baby shower gift, bridal shower gift. Yep. Yep, May Day. Exactly. Brenda, I don't know about you, but I used to always have a beautiful bouquet that I would take to my teachers on May Day with a card. So that would be really nice. If there's anybody you give a May Day bouquet to, this would be a cute card to go with it. Exactly. So anybody have any questions or anything you wanted to chat about other than these butterflies? It's so funny. It still says only 6 people are watching live. It's whatever. I think there's more than 6 on here. So don't forget, if you want the supplies or if you want to get the set for free, the information is on pattystamps.com. You can order the supplies today or whenever, and these cards will be on my blog tomorrow, pattystamps.com, so that you can see kind of close-ups of them if you wish. Oh, good. Okay, so there's a little over 100 watching. I don't know why my screen says 6. That's just so silly. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Next week, when we meet on Friday, it will be Valentine's Day. So I have something really special in mind that I want to make next week. And I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to make it, but I think I will. And so I hope that you'll have fun joining me next week if you are a regular and like to tune in on Fridays. Perhaps you already said this, but what is the extra stamps in the set? Extra stamps in the set. Are you talking about the beautiful butterfly set? I showed these last week, what I did with these, but you can use them to fill in the wings. Is that what you're asking for? Or, excuse me, about? They fill in the wing shape. So if you mount them, you can use them to stamp like that onto the butterfly if you want to. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking about, but hopefully that helps. Yes. Okay, good. I hope that helped then, Ellen. You're welcome, Lois. Thank you, Renee. Thanks, Nell. Yes, Adele, I was saying that earlier. This works on any size card, but I just loved when Stampin' Up! Showed this on the note cards on the demonstrator planning place, so I just wanted to do it at note card size. But yes, you can make that any size card you want. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marcella. So kind of you. She says, you're the best teacher. I love that. You were so sweet. Thank you. I hope that you will make some of these and you can play around with other designer papers. You could use your blending brushes to make a background. You could do a watercolor background. So many possibilities, but I just loved it with this full of life paper pack. So thanks again, and I will see you all next week on our special Valentine's Day live. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and we will chat soon.